Hey YouTubers, Grimmy Dragon here, and it's about time for a double review. Special reasons for this one, pretty interesting I guess. Yeah, today we're going to be taking a look at not only the Masters of the Universe Classics She-Ra, but we're also going to be looking at a 2-pack that was in Toys R Us a while back that featured She-Ra and Supergirl. Okay, so I'm sure someone's asking, why am I reviewing both the standard classics She-Ra and the She-Ra and Supergirl 2-pack at the same time? And quite frankly, the answer is very simple. 2-pack She-Ra and standard She-Ra are effectively the same exact figure, the 2-pack version only being a little bit stripped down and has a silver sword. So it's not really much of a difference between them. And if you got the standard She-Ra and happen to get the I think the Great Wars weapons pack, you effectively got this 2-pack She-Ra already. So yeah, it's not like there's a huge difference between the two. But enough on that. Let's actually get a look at what we got for She-Ra here. Yeah, we're starting with her since it's going to be easier to do that way. And yeah, we'll start with the standard classics version. As you can see, well done, nicely painted. This was before the new buck and before the bubble power She-Ra. So yeah, I mean, it's not bad. Got your you got your standard gold and white skirt piece or tunic or whatever you want to call it, or dress. Got the bronzish bracers and boots, and a red cape. Now this is the mask that you got when you actually look in the box. You want proof? Well, yeah, here's the box version. Okay. But the mask has a nice feature. I'm kind of rambling through this, but we'll see what we can do. But you just take it off, and it looks like someone put a slug right through her forehead. Not exactly the best design choice. But you can actually flip it around, make it look like a tiara, and that looks pretty good. I like the holographic look on the holographic stickers on the sides. That looks nice. And you get a good view of the face. And I always appreciate that. We'll get into articulation. You got a ball jointed head, a little bit hindered by the hair, so she can't really look up. She can look down a little bit. Universal shoulders, forward, backward. She has the bicep swivel. 90-degree bend at the knee and wrist rotation. There is some waist movement underneath the dress, but not a whole lot. You got universal hips, but the skirt really hinders it. But you can actually spread the legs about that far. Not really a lot. So you can get some forward, backward, but not a whole lot. You got knee bend, boot cut. There is a thigh swivel in there. Got ankle movement, forward, back. There's a little bit of pivot in the ankles as well. So, well, you're not going to get a lot of poses out of the She-Ra. You can get a few. And she can stand fairly firmly. Accessories, you got the shield. Just clips onto the arm. Pretty easy. Got her axe. which is designed to look at like a comb because of the rooted hair of the original figures. And you got her sword of protection, done up in this nice two-tone gold, much like the vintage action figure, although the design is very much like the Filmation cartoon, and it's got a nice little jewel within. But she does have one more accessory, and that's an alternate head. To show that off, we're just going to get right into 2-pack She-Ra here, because this is the alternate head. And that is a very Filmation accurate head, which looks really nice. I do like the tiara, the hair, everything looks spot on with the old cartoon. This one might not need a Club Grayskull redo, so yeah, I mean, but then again, one with the bubble power body might be nice. So you got that. Yeah, everything else, well, you got the silver sword, but everything else is exactly like the standard release. She doesn't have the axe, she doesn't have an alternate head, she just gets her sword and shield. Oop. Yeah. So there's not really that much difference between these two here. So there is another character to look at here, and since this is a 2-pack, we have Supergirl, who is pretty much meant to go with She-Ra because He-Man and Superman, you know, whatever. This figure is actually pretty good. It was a re-release of an earlier Supergirl from like before DC Universe Classics, really. But it's done very nicely. I got into Superman more from the animated series, so this design for Supergirl works pretty well for me. Unfortunately, the face sculpt leaves something to be desired. Get this in. See if we can get it to focus in on the head. But as you can see, the real problem I have is just the paint on the lips. It doesn't look like whoever painted this or whatever painted this painted the lips all the way, making them look small and chubby. And you know, it really doesn't do the character well. So the sculpt looks fine. It's just the way the lips are done. So I probably will have to go back, try to touch that up a bit if I can, just to make them look a little bit more, a little nicer. Aside from that, though, she actually did turn out nicely. She has that nice Superman logo on her shirt, and I dig the striping around the sleeves and the bottom of it. So that worked out pretty well. And the rest is pretty standard. You got the blue skirt, red boots, like real dark red. Although I do like how all the laces are picked out. They're actually silver paint bits right where the laces would go into the boot. And they even added a different color for the heels and soles of the feet. So that's pretty good. Cape is a very flexy, bendy, rubbery plastic. So it's not going to get in the way of anything. All in all, well done. Articulation, you got universal shoulders, bicep swivel, 90-degree bend at the elbow, wrist swivel, and I do like how the gloves are there just to disguise the cut, and so that's pretty cool. You got Universal hips. Again, the skirt seems to get in the way a bit, although not quite as much as with She-Ra. But you got thigh swivel. You do get a waist cut right below the shirt, which is pretty good. So yeah, you got that. 90 degree at the knee, boot cut, and some ankle movement, like forward back. Head's pretty well ball jointed. Again, no looking up or down really, but you can move left and right, twist it around, whatever you want. So it's pretty good. Now, one flaw that tends to come from these 2-packs is the scale between the Masters of the Universe Classics figures and the DC Universe Classics figures, since the Masters figures are actually larger than the DC ones. For a better example, let's bring in Power Girl, since she's right here. She's actually taller than Supergirl is, but shorter than She-Ra. So as you can see, there is a bit of a size difference. Now, given that Supergirl is meant to be a younger character, the scale doesn't feel as off as it would with like Superman and He-Man together. So, for once, I'd say the different scales actually work to the benefit of the 2-pack, because you can actually portray Supergirl as a much younger character than She-Ra, and do it quite effectively. Now, all in all, looking at them now, it'd be harder to get a hold of the 2-pack than it would be a standard release She-Ra. And quite honestly, the standard She-Ra's more worth it than the 2-pack is. So if you're going to look for a She-Ra, look for the standard release. There is a weapons pack that has the silver sword, so it's not that hard to get a hold of. Supergirl's nice, but I'm sure you'll be able to find her loose easy enough as well. So that'll about wrap things up for the She-Ra versus Supergirl and standard She-Ra figures. Yeah, I pretty much just wanted to do them both, since the She-Ra in the 2-pack was practically the exact same She-Ra that we got in the standard release, and it would be redundant to review it twice over. Anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed this little review. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. So take care out there, whatever you are.